Thank you for coming down today. And would you like to introduce yourself and maybe where you were born and how?
I was born in Germany. I'm Jewish and I come from a completely assimilated family. We were not religious people. My father was very German indeed, because the German Jews were very, very integrated in society. So what happened became as a great shock.
You see, Hungary also was an ally of Germany, and there were strict anti-Jewish laws. There was what was called numerus nullus, meaning no Jew was allowed into university. Jews were not allowed to practice in the professions. Jews were only allowed to travel on the second car of the tram, for instance. Jews were not allowed into certain restaurants and so on and so forth.
The Germans invaded us in 1944. Once the Germans invaded us, the Hungarians that were there were collaborating with the Germans, and they rounded us up and they put us in a ghetto in another town, a small town, and from there they transported us to Auschwitz-Birkenau.
In Auschwitz I was extremely fortunate. When I arrived, you have a sort of welcome ceremony. You get your hair shaved and you get a number tattooed on your arm, all done by prisoners. And these prisoners were very, very keen to hear what's going on. You always hoped the war would finish. So what's happening outside? I said, can't tell you too much. I wasn't there. What did you do before the war? I said, well, I play the cello. Completely crazy thing to say in Auschwitz. I knew what's happening in Auschwitz, The gas chamber story was very well known, only very difficult to believe. And so you play the cello, fantastic. There's an orchestra here and they haven't got a cello. So to cut a very long story short, I became a member of the women's orchestra in Auschwitz, Auschwitz-Birkenau, two camps, yeah. And that was a ticket for survival, because as long as they want music there, they can't put us in the gas chamber. But we never thought we'd get out of Auschwitz. I mean, we sat, 5 meters away from the gas chamber and saw everything that was happening.
In Auschwitz-Birkenau, when we got there, we were separated. We were 4 brothers and a sister. My parents were taken to the gas chambers, my mother and father, and they were gassed and killed immediately. And we were sent to slave labor camps. No, but we stayed in Auschwitz-Birkenau first. From there we were transported to Lower Silesia, to a camp in a stone quarry.
They brought soup for us. And when they brought the soup, the soup smelled from excreta. And we thought that this is probably what they're making a joke, because they always used to do all kinds of things that to surprise us. And in spite of the fact that we were very hungry, we simply could not touch it. But soon afterwards, the people, the inmates of the camp who were already there, they came back from work. They looked terrible. But before we had a chance to talk to them, they realized that there was food, that there was a soup there. And suddenly, they were all fighting for the soup. And we looked at them and we thought, they're no longer human beings, they're animals. The way they're fighting for this soup, a soup that simply was inedible. But this is all that they were getting, so therefore they got used to it already. And they looked at us and they said, tomorrow or the next day after, you will be very sorry that you never tasted this, because you haven't eaten that, because you're not going to get anything better than that.
They had a list of various people. Before the liquidation, we had to go past somebody, an assessment, who asked you the name and made little marks. We didn't know what it meant. And when it came to the liquidation, they called out all those names and said, I was on that list too. And they said, these people whom we call out, they are going to go by train. The others will have to walk. So obviously, my friend Benjamin, who's a strong boy, I don't know why he was on that list, he kept saying, come on, let's go, we are going by train. I had the instinct, I don't know why, I don't even know now why, because I really believed, but we're going, but I didn't. I hid myself when they called out those people. Eventually there were obviously other people who were missing, so we had to go, they picked out more people, but they didn't find me. They took them out, they took them to the shelters and shot them all.
We knew a death march because people dropped dead on the way, and we used to sleep in the forests. And that's how I left. Two of my brothers were killed there. They couldn't, they fooled us. They said, anybody can't walk, march out this side, we will go by lorries. So as we marched off, and as we marched off, we heard pop, 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 pop. They shot everybody they fooled us. They couldn't walk anymore because they had swollen legs you get swollen legs from not eating.
They took the people to the river Danube. They lined them up, they tied them together and shot at the two ends of the line in the head, so they all fell in and drowned.